Okay, so we're live again. I'm just gonna say we had a little bit of technical issues, but we seem to get that all fixed. Again, dude, I can't thank you enough for talking to us about your experience at Full Gear.
My
Uh, Again, I wish I could have been there. Just talk. We were briefly talking about like the differences between watching it on TV and being there live. Like, just could you quickly brush up again on just what are some of the key differences?
well, just I mean, it's like the feel of the crowd. When like a baby face comes out, you get that feel. When the heels doing heat on the baby face is like you feel it more than on TV because when you're watching it on TV, you got a lot of distractions around you depending on where you are. So anytime you could do something live, it's 10 times better because you feel all the emotion, everything. So
I believe it. I believe it, man. And we've experienced it like ourselves because we met in during Fighter Fest, and I've been
yes,
to Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, and we were supposed to meet in All Out.
yeah, yeah.
We couldn't make that work, but I agree with you. It's such a different feel. Like you just feel the energy. Like I remember when Jericho won the
Hmm.
belt, you just felt that. Like everyone pop at the same time. Like it's just an energy. Like you just can't really describe it. Abe,
Yeah.
you were briefly talking about Stone Cold coming out for the Raw reunions.
Yeah, the Raw reunion was insanely good. I mean, as in not the show, but like the crowd wise. Like we were sitting there, and everyone was just like the pop was crazy for each one of these people, and it was a great feeling. But to then rewatch it on TV, it was kind of like, oh, they kind of like didn't pop for Stone Cold, and that's like unheard of.
I know, I know. So speaking about Full Gear, what were some of your quick thoughts? Personally, I loved the pay per view. It was fun to watch. Tell us about some of the favorite matches, or just what was your overall experience? And you did you go with Alan this time around?
Yep, I was with Alan. Basically, that's like my little tag team traveling buddy.
Nah,
So pretty much, if I'm at a wrestling event, he's pretty much with me no matter what. We met through a mutual friend, so we've been traveling ever since. But
nice.
as far as the full gear go, you know what? I did enjoy it. There's just for like a new company, there. I didn't really see too many like crazy like bad technical things going on, but it's only gonna get better. The only thing I didn't really like, and I don't want to sound like mean or anything, but like the pre-show, you know, if they put that and me being like not being a casual fan, I wouldn't have purchased it because I mean, being Brittany Baker, I'm sorry, Britt Baker, excuse me. I, I just didn't feel or like it didn't look smooth to me.
Um,
I
Let me
like
just butt in about that real quick. I don't know what they're doing with Britt Baker, but I feel like she's one of the better woman wrestlers that they have on that roster, and they're not using her to the ability that they should have. That Rio versus Britt Baker should have been off the charts good.
yeah,
Should have
yeah.
been off the charts good.
I just feel like she's. I mean, because it didn't look smooth to me. I'm not an expert. There's no true wrestling expert, but just from my personal thing, I didn't like some of the kicks she didn't look as smooth as somebody else. And I know they're working out the kinks, but like I said, if I was just a casual fan going into this not knowing people, I probably wouldn't have purchased a pay per view. That's just my opinion. So
Okay.
so
Okay. Okay. Um, what are like while watching the Omega match, like honestly, because on TV, it borderline looked like he died. Like, just walk us through, like, just walk us through the match, like, and then of course we'll go back to the beginning of the pay per
sure.
view, of course. But just walk us through the match. What were people saying around you guys? What was the overall attitude? Like, what? Just yeah,
So
it was a good.
for so for me, I've seen both these guys on really, really like at the top of their game. I, you guys might think this is crazy, but I got back into wrestling because of the Shield with Ambrose, Rollins, and um, Reigns. Like that's what kind of made me jump back into it. Then through my buddy Alan, I got introduced to um, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then with the Bullet Club and Kenny Omega, it was like this is what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So just seeing them was just so surreal because it was two guys from top companies in the world going at it. It was literally a dream match. You literally could call this a dream match because you could have said this years ago, Kenny, Moxley at the time, and excuse me, Ambrose. So it was just insane. Um, you know, it was just crazy. The atmosphere, you just knew. Like I knew that this was going to be crazy because of Moxley's old CZW. So the ideas they had,
Yeah.
everything was probably going to be Moxley. So
And
just again,
what I was thinking is, this is probably one of the reasons why Ambrose left WWE. Because I see this, I had seen an old interview of Ambrose, and he was saying about Brock Lesnar in the WrestleMania match, and this is, I imagine that this is the type of match that he wanted to have with Brock Lesnar, where he rips the ring apart, he slams him on wood, he slams him on barbed wire, he gets taxed out, hitting each other with all types of crazy shit, and it just didn't happen. And I feel really good for John Moxley now that he gets the satisfaction that if he thinks of something creatively, it's not just gonna be written on paper and, hey Brock, do you like this? No, it's not gonna happen. It's actually happening for him. And there's people that are behind him because they know what vision he has in his head. And this is what the type of competition that WWE is having to compete with.
I think the biggest reason, I felt this before, but I couldn't really put my pin on it. And then, Abe knows, and I told you recently, like I'm a big fan of Ups and Downs and Simon Miller, and he said recently, like he figured out why a good portion of us really enjoy AEW, and whether you like it or not, it's fun. The wrestlers are having fun, and you can see it and you feel it, especially going to the live shows. And John Moxley, like he said in an interview, like he doesn't care who he's wrestling. He doesn't care what happens. It's just he's just so into it because there's just this creative freedom, and I'm pretty sure he's willing to do so much more than what he was willing to do in WWE because it's fun again. It's fun for him. It's fun to Omega. Like Omega probably. He's getting his record back up there, but he doesn't have that great of a record in AEW. But it's probably fun for him. It's fun. It seems like it's fun for everyone in the company. So I think that's why we're getting a different Moxley, like borderline, in my opinion, kind of becoming like a Stone Cold, a modern Stone Cold, which he always should have. And now he's really digging into that. If you guys agree, I don't know.
no, I mean, like, I'm glad we all think alike because, just I heard the same interviews when he was on Jericho, and he just said, like, I just want to be me. But then, too, you got to know, too, that it's a different animal because of the rating error, PG. And for, that was, like, PG is PG. He doesn't want glass and things. But at AEW, I'm so happy that they're just letting them be them. Yeah. So,
so let's put some final touches on the match. Just overall, what would you like to say about it, especially being there?
I mean, it was literally like an emotional roller coaster. When he broke out the barbed wire bat, people were going crazy. When Kenny did that spot with the going back to his cleaner days with the barbed wire, sweeping his back. People were going crazy, and then the culmination of that, I would say maybe I don't know about the minute wise, but they're like 10 to 20 between the barbed wire. You could say bed. Uh, People were like going crazy when he V triggered him into the little sign
That
till
was
the very
one of my
yeah
favorite bits.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then when he cut the ring up and
Wow.
Kenny did the Bushi Phoenix splash, and then he finally hit him with the lifting paradigm shift. People were just exhausted because it was crazy from about 10 minutes into the match to the very end because they would not go down.
Yeah.
So,
The last thing, and unless if there's something else you want to say, Abe, and also Mike, but do you let me know this, and then we can go on to the other matches. Do you guys think that this match will be talked about for a long time coming? Because I feel
For
that was
sure.
I do because this was kind of for me. It was kind of seeing like Moxley come back to what he kind of like going back to his roots because the one with Janela wasn't as bad. This was just tenfold between the glass. Just even just something as crazy as when Kenny had Moxley in the sharpshooter, and he was crawling to the glass to get to the rope. That's
yeah.
just like this guy's nuts. So
Yeah, I feel like this match was more of not of like an expansion, but an introduction kind of to the casual fans. Like this isn't Dean Ambrose anymore.
Yeah.
This is Kansas anymore. This
No
is a
red
new
flag.
era, and this is a new
right.
guy, and this is John Moxley. It's not no goddamn Dean Ambrose. This ain't the Shield.
Yes, Santana Ortiz against the Young Bucks, which I have to say, I really like Santana and Ortiz for many, many reasons. I love those guys. Two
Yeah.
guys from New York, Puerto Ricans, like me. Granted, me and Neighbor are not Puerto Rican, but we could definitely relate to them hardcore. Yo, yeah, like I just hear those guys talk and I feel like I know them, you know. But anyways, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, just like I I I actually got introduced to them watching them on T in A,
Yeah,
and I know they were real big um, in hog wrestling as well in New York. So I kind of like a lot. I hate to say this, but like a lot of these wrestlers I've watched before they became mainstream. So seeing them going up against the Young Bucks, it was it's not no Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks match, but
yeah.
it's good still. It's still great tag team wrestling. They're both great tag teams. I mean, and I feel like the Young Bucks have kind of already established themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that they're doing things like this by putting people over, like Private Party, the Lucha Bros, and as well as Pride and Powerful now. So
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna tell you guys the honest truth here. I didn't watch this pay per view.
hey,
So
honesty
don't
is
ask
key.
me about any tag team wrestling. I didn't watch any woman single matches. I watched highlights of Cody and I watched highlights of Moxley, and that's it. Those are my two draws, guys.
So tell him, and no knock to you, of course, but like tell him why. I mean, granted, not that what you were doing, but in the overall, how come?
um, I'm I don't know. I don't like AEW that much. I'm sorry.
Oh, hey, listen, we all have our opinions. Some people don't like Raw. Some people don't like SmackDown. Some people don't like NXT. It's just that's
Yeah,
what's great about wrestling is you could find what you want anywhere. It
yeah,
does not matter if you're willing to go look. You could dig and you could find it. So
yeah. My thing is I mean, it's like they chose a very bad month for me to get me as a fan. You know,
Like the
it's
World Series.
terrible because you know what? They did a draft right when they had Dynamite for the first time.
Yeah.
Right after that, Brock was on TV for how long? Maybe 3 or 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What happens next? They got stuck in fucking Saudi Arabia. How can I miss a show with no wrestlers?
True.
You can. And then what? And then NXT came in, and it's been the best thing ever for the last 2 weeks. It's not like I don't want to watch it. I do want to watch it. But when you have AJ Styles in the main event on a Wednesday of 1,000 people crowd, that is incredible, and it reminds me of TNA back in the day.
Agreed.
So it just captures me as a fan to see
And-
stuff like that. And I honestly, eventually, I will watch it. I will go in and I'll be like, "Who was this Sammy Guevara guy? Ooh, he looks interesting," and I'll watch a match, and he's probably really good. You know, it's a bad time to catch me as a fan.
Let's just get a little bit more highlights before we talk about other stuff. And
Sure.
we're almost doing this for 30 minutes. We'll go on for a few more minutes after. Yeah. So what are some of the highlights? Like we had a tag match, which I'm assuming got a loud pop for all the flippity flops that those four men did. And talk to me about that one move that Santana Ortiz did, where it was like a I don't even know how to describe it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Was it the submission one?
Yeah, it was a submission where all
So-
of them were on each other essentially.
Retarded.
So it was a you could say it was a gory special Boston Crab.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember where Ortiz was positioned, but I'm gonna say maybe it was like a Steiner recliner. So, I mean, I was laughing. I think it was kind of meant to be like a comedy spot to me because Santana had I think it was Nick in the gory special, and then he did the Boston Crab on Nick, and I believe Ortiz was like doing like a camel clutch
Yeah.
kind of thing. So that was funny. People, yeah.
I honestly, I'm all about stuff I haven't seen before. I've never seen that.
Me
Ever.
neither. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it could be weird. It did look weird, but I'll allow it. Like it's new. It's interesting.
It's different.
I
Yeah.
don't want to watch it again.
You don't want to see it again?
So
It looked like the human centipede for a second.
People sitting by me were saying that. They're like, oh, is this human centipede? I'm like, not even close, man. Not even close.
guys, Pac lost his first AEW match.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys see it coming?
Yeah.
I kind of did because if they went back to it, because Hangman is on their radar as being a top guy.
Yeah.
So like this is kind of his coming back to what he was before the company started. So I'm glad they did it. Maybe Pac could have like beaten up someone first, then eventually go back to the, to the Page thing. But essentially, the match should have been like a number one contender kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I mean, if they're going off record statistically, Pac and them had like similar records, so they're essentially in that top five.
Well,
Okay.
Like,
Let me just so because we could talk on and on and on about the pay-per-view. Let me just go through a match that I actually really enjoyed, in my opinion. And I know I was chatting with you, Abe, when the match came on. I really enjoyed the Rio match. I don't know what is it about her. I think she's fucking great. I think it's just
Tell us the truth, Albert. How do you feel about Rio?
yeah, relax. I think she's great. I I think she tells like a really good underdog story. I don't know if it's the size thing or whatever, but I think she is like the female version of like Rey Mysterio to a degree. And if I'm not mistaken, she did the 619, didn't she?
She did, yes.
Yeah. So, and I remember in the last three pay-per-views, like people pop like with their heads off when Rio's music starts coming out, and I just thought that this last match was just great. Like it was student versus teacher, youth against experience, and I think it told a really good story. Like what do you think of it?
So I wasn't really feeling it at first, but then I kind of got into it a little bit because she's really like a to me like a prototypical baby face. You
Yeah,
know, no matter who you put her with, she's going to be the underdog. Be,
yeah,
because like when she was against not Nyla Rose, that was the
yeah,
most like size differentiate you could probably ever get. Like it literally was like a Rey Mysterio or Kevin Nash or Rey Mysterio Big Show, Rey Mysterio Great Khali. So it was definitely. I think people like sympathize, with her, and you know what, like Abe said, she's a cute girl,
yeah.
she's a cute
I didn't
little,
say
girl. I did for you, so yeah. Yeah, so I definitely believe that they're building around her because if they weren't, then they wouldn't put a strap on her. So
Yeah.
that's
I
all.
agree.
I honestly haven't. I didn't know who she was before she signed AEW. So
Me, I think a
she's
lot. Of it.
making big strides in the wrestling business right now. Because a few months ago, half of the people didn't even know who the hell she was. And look at
Really?
her now, AEW Women's Champion. And she's here beating the likes of Nyla Rose, which I had heard about. She beat Britt Baker, which I had heard about. She's beating top-notch people, and I think they have to keep her on that road and establish that title before they juggle around.
I feel like she's in the spot that Oscar should have been in a while ago.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, that hurt my heart a little bit, but yeah. Now, guys, so let's just go into it. Chris Jericho versus Cody Rhodes. I'll just quickly say, I thought it told a really compelling story. I did. A lot of people saw the finish coming. I didn't really see it coming to a degree. I literally thought they were going to go to a draw, and there's going to be, between the judges. I was hoping it would have went to that because I want to see that play out. But maybe they'll use that finish later on, down the line. I loved it. I thought it was a beautiful story. The fact that Jericho used his old lion tamer was beautiful. Uh, the MJF turn, I thought it was fucking brilliant. And I don't know. I think that's one of the most compelling championship matches that I've seen in a minute, in my opinion.
I
Hey,
agree.
you want to go in first?
Yeah, I feel like it was a good match. Um, I can't really say too much on it because I didn't watch it 100%. Sorry again, but I from what I watched, it was a solid match. These are two seasoned veteran guys. Not their first time at the rodeo. They've known each other since WWE.
Yeah.
So these guys, they know each other. They know their style. I'm pretty sure they've been talking about this and other matches for a long time, and it was how it should be. I feel like Jericho has to be champ for
Oh, for
a
sure.
couple of months now.
For sure.
Because then where do you put Jericho after it? I don't know.
In my opinion, I see Jericho as champ for like 6 months to a year.
Yeah. Who
Uh,
do you guys see taking the belt off of him?
Maybe Hangman down the line, maybe if he doesn't win the mid card one in this December, down the road, I could see them getting like Hangman real hot, and then him winning it eventually, or if you really want to go even crazier, even though MJF is a heel, he could take it from Jericho, and he could be taunting Cody, being like, "Hey, I did something that you can never do now." So
That's perfect.
Okay, I have one serious one and then another one. These two ones, like I think it would just because again, I want to see different things. I don't know how people will feel about it, but whatever. I'll say the serious one, which I think you guys would agree with, and the other two crazy ones. So, as a serious one, I actually wouldn't mind if Scorpio Sky won the belt as maybe like the second champion. I feel like he's a good up and comer. He moves very well. He looks like a strong champion, and or he would be a strong champion. And I don't know. I really like him. I think he has a lot to offer. Um, my two picks.
Can I guess?
Go for it.
Are you gonna say Orange Cassidy?
No. I'm not gonna
How would he even hold the belt?
I'm not gonna lie. He would be a good TV title champion. But no, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he was. But like, it would be the funniest thing. But no, uh, just hear me out. Sunny Kiss.
Who?
Sunny Kiss. Do you know who Sunny Kiss is?
Who?
Sunny Kiss.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Just I would say just look him up. He's part of the card. He's I don't know how to describe him. The more flamboyant character out of I guess that's a decent way to
Gold Dust, really, but actually a Gold Dust esque character.
Kinda, yeah, kinda.
But honestly, super athletic.
Yes,
Super athletic.
very
Is
athletic.
it the guy with the blonde hair?
Yes.
The black guy with the
What
hair.
talking about?
Yeah, I think that would be like if they gave someone like him the belt, it would show immediately like these guys at AEW are willing to take risks that WWE in a million years would never do. That's number one.
Their
And
their talent overweighs you could say, their orientation on what they like.
exactly. And I just feel like it would just introduce like a new wave of wrestling that we just never had before. But the other pick that I think if he won a belt or a world championship belt, I think everyone will lose their minds.
Big pops, for sure.
The second guy, Luchasaurus.
Oh man, I can get that one.
Listen, Abe, look, it's one thing you see on TV and YouTube. Again, I've been to 3 of these pay-per-views. You've been to all of them, right?
Yes.
Okay. How people react to Luchasaurus is something I've never heard of before. Like, granted, I wasn't there when Stone Cold came out, but I don't know, dude. I think the pop that people have when it comes to that character, it could be just as loud. And if you told a compelling story of someone like that who's never meant to have who's never meant to be a serious character and never meant to be in a place like that, and he would be a joke in WWE. And like it's just like if he won the world championship title, I think literally it would blow up the internet.
I think so too.
So sorry, it was a long rant, but I would love to see him win a big title like that.
Well, also too, they got a guy there. His name's Warlow, and
Yeah.
he's a big jacked up dude too. So, and you know what? They haven't really introduced these characters yet to the. I mean, we know about them, but as far as the mainstream audience, if they want to do things like that, they got to start introducing these guys on TV.
Sure.
Luchasaurus has been hurt. You know what? Guy too. He is another super athlete. He's big. I don't know height wise, but he's literally doing things that little luchadors do.
Oh yeah.
So, and you can he's believable. You could get behind someone like that who is big and athletic and is believable. So,
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
So
So
let's definitely give our final thoughts because we're running into 45 minutes. But we would have to have you again back on because honestly, this has been fun so far, and we can talk more about just wrestling in general.
Perfect.
So let's just put the final touches on the Jericho versus Cody match, and again, give us your perspective on how it was live. Like,
so at first, it didn't make sense. Oh, sorry. Oh, what happened? Oh, sorry, guys. Something. So it didn't make sense to me at first, but then after the match, it made perfect sense because these are literally like the two best storytellers in AEW. You could not have put anyone else with Jericho that could have had a story like that.
Yeah.
Even with Goldust, it was a great story. It was literally great from the beginning to the end. So that was, I mean, storytelling wise, great match. And then two, seeing Jericho at his age still go. Granted, he didn't do nothing crazy, but for him to still go like that and get those reactions and still know what gets under people's skins because people were wishing him happy birthday, he was still giving the crowd the finger, and people were popping because that's just such a seasoned vet. And then the ending swerved me completely because I literally said, I hope they don't go 60 minutes because people are gonna get checked out, and they didn't. And the ending made people pop too, and then the turn made just everything just worth everything. So that's how I felt.
What do you think, Abe?
I think it was a great match. He kind of hit all the points. It was a great, it went in. It got the result people wanted. It got the turn no one expected. And I feel like it was a great match. And I think there's going to be more to come from AEW. So, let's give this a rating 1 through 10. Let's start with you, Albert. Let's go.
Pay-per-view?
Yeah, as a total.
To be honest with you, this is probably one of the better pay-per-views I've seen in a while. Wrestling related, AEW related. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. And let me just touch up something. That stage looked so beautiful. It was just great to see something different. I liked how they had actual gears and a little bit of set dressing. It's not just screens. I thought it was beautiful. I was hoping for something a little different because they were being repetitive with their stages. But I give it an 8 out of 10.
Mike, or you got?
I agree with Abe. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. But to Abe's comment, the TV didn't do it justice. It was the stage was super cool. It was different. They still had the two entrances, but being there live, you could definitely appreciate like how cool and how thoughtful somebody thought about this. So,
and I'm gonna give it a solid 7, and this is why. It had a few matches that were really good. It's like 10-star matches, but then you have the few that kind of like brought it down. And I feel like a great pay-per-view, even if the bad matches are good, if you know what I mean. So I give it a 7. They have a lot of work to do, but I feel like they're doing a great job so far.
Fair enough. Well, that's it for this episode. I think I'm gonna have to cut this in 2 parts. But I might put it as a full thing. But honestly, man, thank you so much. to be our first guest for our first video Skype session. Thank you so much. We'll definitely have you on again. And guys, stay tuned. We're gonna definitely try our best to pump out more content. Definitely follow what's gonna happen later on this week. We are trying to connect with the indie audience and the indie companies and just really explore that whole thing. And you'll see what we're talking about. So just stay tuned. And Abe, you want to send us out or anything you want to say?
All right. This is AA Ringside Podcast, the actual podcast. And nice to see everyone.
Guys, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you both for the opportunity. So
Stay on, Mike. Let me just stop the recording.